This is Jeremy from Craft Brewing, and this is how we PBW a keg. So, what I have here is a keg of what was once a delicious, continuously hopped American Amber Ale, and it is sadly empty. So what happens now is we need to clean it, and as you've probably heard us say before, we are huge advocates of PBW. It's an amazing product. It's going to clean the hell out of this thing. So I've got the keg. I'm just going to scare you with that loud noise. Release all the pressure. I'm going to pop off the good old lid here. And now what I've got is a little bit of a hot mess on the bottom here. Just some sediment, little yeast and stuff that was left over in the keg. So I'm going to just dump that crud out into the sink. Alright, so now that I've dumped most of the stuff out of this keg, what I want to do is just go ahead and take the lid. I'm going to just toss it in a little bucket here. I'm also going to use my awesome socket wrench here. 7/8 is usually good for most kegs. I'm just going to take off the in post. Get it right out of my way. And I throw it in the same bucket. I like to keep everything kind of separate, my in and out post, just because, well, that's how I tend to do it. What I'm going to do now is get some PBW. Use an old OxyClean container. Just usually a scoop of it does the trick for what I do. Dump that in there. Get some nice hot water going. And what I like to do now is fill it up about halfway, and I find that, or just over halfway, and leave it at that, and I'll explain to you in a minute exactly why that works out. Alright, so I now have this keg just a little ways over halfway full. I'm just going to rip off the old outpost here. Plunk it in. Same thing goes for that. Get the tube in there. I'm going to let that sit. I usually like to let that go for, I don't know, maybe an hour or something like that. Possibly even overnight, depends how distracted I get. And then what I'm going to do is, well, I'm going to take this bucket, wherein I placed previously the lid and the in post and all that stuff. I'm just going to add a little PBW to that, get that soaking as well. This is also a really good time if you're using a bucket like this, if there's anything else you need to clean, like little flasks or carboy hoods, anything like that, just to get them cleaning as well, because you've got the PBW going anyway, so you might as well be as efficient as possible. So I'm just filling this up so I get maybe like an inch of headspace up above with water. And then, you know, if the level decreases at all, you're still definitely covered. Homebrew. Oh, it's delicious. Okay, so at this point we're pretty much good to sit for just a little bit. Alright, so we've been sitting for an hour or two now. With the hot water in there, that's definitely good enough. PBW's kicked the acid of anything that's down there in the bottom, especially since it was dumped out and rinsed out and all that good stuff. So now what I like to do is I just take a bucket like this. Fits just over top of the keg. You can use any size of bucket. I find one that fits a little bit tighter, which is always better. Results in a little less volume just kind of being dispersed out. And pick up the keg, do a little flip. And it's good to have some of that PBW water, all that solution kind of coming out and whatnot, because what that's going to do is it's going to clean the whole top of the keg, around the outside of the posts, anywhere where, say, beer or anything kind of got spilt, you know, between taking the connects off or whatever. So now the top side of the keg, as well as the whole top outside, is getting cleaned. It's going to be beautiful. Now go ahead, leave that overnight, come down tomorrow, give everything a really nice rinse out. I like to probably rinse it out like 4 times or 5 times, just until you know for sure that there's no bubbles, there's nothing left in here, everything's squeaky clean. It's good to sanitize, good to fill with more delicious beer. For Craft Brewing, I'm Jeremy. Stay clean.